Mistakes, mistakes, and more mistakes. Even one of the most popular shows in the world, Peppa Pig, isn't safe from it. And in today's video, we're going to look at some of these mistakes. In the episode Sleepover, Peppa goes to Zoe Zebra's house for a sleepover. And as always, they're having a lot of fun. When Mummy and Daddy Zebra waves them goodnight and turn off the lights, notice that there are two paintings hanging on the wall. But in the next scene, when Peppa and her friends get ready to sleep, we can't see the paintings on the wall anymore. But in the next scene, when Zoe Zebra's twin sisters start crying, the painting magically reappears on the wall. And that's not all. Later in the episode, Peppa and friends decide to sneakily go to kitchen to get some food. And they successfully do so. But Mummy Zebra finds out what they are doing and tells them to sleep. And when all of the kids go to sleep, we can also see the painting behind them. But the issue is, that's a different painting than before. Let's compare these two paintings. As we can see, these are completely different paintings. Did someone magically change the painting? Or is there some kind of ghost living in Zoe Zebra's house? Whatever might be the reason, it was indeed a strange mistake. Moving on, in the episode The Eye Test, Peppa goes to Daddy Pony's clinic to get her eye tested. Daddy Pony tests Peppa's eye to see if she needs glasses. But that's not the issue here. Look at the shelf behind Peppa. We can notice that there are lots of glasses placed on the shelf. And look at this glass right behind Peppa. As we can see, it is green in color. But in the next scene, when Daddy Pony is testing Peppa's eye, we can see that the glass behind Peppa is purple colored. And not only that, but the shape of the frame has also changed too. Originally, the glass was green with circular frame, but here it is purple colored in square frame. It seems like animators forgot the original color and shape of the glasses. In the episode Sun, Sea, and Snow, Peppa and her friends and family are looking forward to a trip to the seaside where they can make sandcastles. But when they arrive at the beach, there is too much snow. The entire beach is covered with snow, which means no sandcastle for Peppa and friends. But Mummy Pig decides to go for a swim, which we must say isn't the greatest of ideas in these conditions. Anyway, Mummy Pig decides she's going to swim, so she takes off her clothes and dives in the sea. And as soon as she lands in the water, she realizes her mistake. But wait, let's look at the shore. There are no clothes there. But in the earlier scene, Mummy Pig put her clothes right there. Well, it seems like this wasn't a good day for Mummy Pig. Firstly, she dived into ice-cold water, and now her clothes disappeared into thin air. Now, this next mistake is really shocking. In the episode Lost Keys, Peppa and her family go on a trip to a mountain scenic spot. But on the way down, Daddy Pig loses the car keys down the drain. And to get the keys out from the drain, they decide to buy a fishing rod so that they can hook the keys out. So, Mrs. Rabbit sells them a fishing rod, and Daddy Pig throws the fishing line in the drain. Unfortunately, the fishing line isn't long enough to reach the keys. Now, pay attention, because here comes the mistake. Mrs. Rabbit decides to throw a stone down the drain to check its depth. And as you can hear, when the stone reaches down the drain, it makes a splash sound, meaning there's water on the bottom. Later in the episode, Mr. Bull arrives on the scene with a crane, and he uses the crane to get the keys. But wait, look at the bottom, there's no trace of water. But earlier, when Mrs. Rabbit threw a stone, we heard a splash sound. But in this scene, there's no water there. It's a weird error, isn't it? This next error is really hilarious. In the episode Goldie the Fish, the pig's family pet, Goldie the Fish, does not look happy and is not eating her food. So, Peppa, George, and Mummy Pig take her on a trip to visit Dr. Hamster the vet. Dr. Hamster treats Goldie the Fish, and the pig family goes back to their home. When they reach home, Daddy Pig comes home from work. Now here comes the mistake. Look at Daddy Pig's attire. He's wearing a white shirt with a tie. In simple words, he's in his work clothes. But in the next scene, when we see him, he's wearing his home clothes, and there's no shirt or a tie. It seems like Daddy Pig can instantly change his clothes on the spot. In the episode Edmund Elephant's Birthday, we see Peppa, George, and their friends celebrating Edmund Elephant's birthday. They all decided to play a variety of fun games, and the first party game is musical statues. All the toddlers want to play the game, and Peppa explains the rules. When the music is playing, they dance, and when it stops, freeze like a statue. The toddlers start dancing to Peppa's command. Round by round, each one gets eliminated, and finally, one of the zebra twins wins the game, and she gets a gold medal for the win. Now look carefully, because here comes the mistake. Now the toddlers want to play pass the parcel, where they pass each other a parcel side by side. And notice that the winner of musical statue is sitting beside George with her medal on. Now the game starts and everyone passes the parcel turn by turn, but when the parcel gets to George, look at the zebra twin by his side. She doesn't have the medal. But earlier we saw the zebra twin with the medal sit beside George. Seems like even the animators got confused with the twins. Now this next mistake is really amusing. In the episode Mr. Potato's Christmas Show, all of the students in Peppa's class gather in a theater to see Mr. Potato's show, and notice that Peppa is sitting in the last row with some of her friends. And also in the front row, we can notice a cat is sitting. Now pay close attention, because the mistake here is really funny. Later in the episode, Pedro Pony decides to change seat due to some issue, and the scene zooms into Peppa. Now look, the cat that was sitting in the front row magically appears in front of Peppa. And when the scene zooms out again, the cat magically goes back to sit in the front row, and the 2 seats in front of Peppa are occupied by someone else. In the episode Daddy Pig's Birthday. Here, we see the whole family involved in making the birthday cake for Daddy Pig, and we see various ingredients on the table like milk, eggs, and flour. Also, there's a wooden spoon on the table next to the chocolate pieces that will be used in the cake. Then, Mummy Pig starts putting all the ingredients in a large bowl. And when the scene widens, note that the wooden spoon magically moved from where it was on the table to right next to Mummy Pig. It seems that besides making cakes, Mummy Pig also knows how to do magic. And it seems that George has also inherited the ability to do magic tricks from Mummy Pig, because right after this scene, Peppa asks to mix the cake batter, and George is by her side. Now look at George's hand. There's nothing in it, but in a split second, a second spoon appears in the little pig's hand. George seems to be following Mummy Pig's footsteps. In the episode Breakfast Club, Peppa and her friends are at school very early, planning to have breakfast together. When it's time for breakfast, Peppa and her friends ask for toast. Madame Gazelle brings the super toaster. And notice that the toaster has space for 9 toasts. Madame Gazelle puts 9 toasts on the toaster. After a while, the toast is ready, and everyone gets a piece. But wait, there are 12 kids, and everyone has a toast. But how's this possible when there were only 9 pieces of toast in the toaster? Seriously, these animation errors have toasted my brain. So, these were some animation mistakes we found in Peppa Pig. And as always, we'll see you all in the next video.